y'all. So today we're doing a very well requested video. Everybody asked me like, yo Dre, what is your brand? What do you do? Can you show us the warehouse? Like, it looks so cool on Instagram. So I kind of hesitated for a minute because I like to keep my life a little bit private, but I want to help somebody and I want to inspire the next generation to take it to the next level. So today we're doing a warehouse tour, and right now we are outside because this is my favorite part of the warehouse, my Tesla. You know what I'm saying? I got it charging right now. I love that. We're about to go in right now. Come on. We're gonna do an MTV Crib style warehouse tour. Let's go. Alright, so bet. We just came into the warehouse. It's Monday. It's a very hectic day for us. We just got 64 boxes in today alone, and we're going to get more throughout the week. So we're getting ready for our spring summer, so that's when we kind of pick up in e-commerce. Alright, for people that don't know, we are located in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a 15,000 square feet warehouse, and there's two parts to the warehouse. Okay, so we have the fulfillment side, and then we also have a production side of the warehouse. So right now we're in the fulfillment side of the warehouse. We're getting ready for spring, summer, so a lot of our stuff is coming in. We just got 64 boxes today alone, so very hectic start to a Monday, and we're getting more coming in throughout the week, but I'm ready for it. This is my favorite season. This is when it ramps up for us, and we get really busy. So right now, all you see right here is stuff that we're waiting to drop. So they're still in boxes and stuff like that. So we're getting ready to drop those stuff pretty soon. As we come into here, this stuff that's laid out and open, this is like separated by size. So it might be the same item. Like for instance, like this is all one hoodie, but they're separated by size, like small, medium, large, extra large, and stuff like that, because those stuff is already on the site, and as we get orders, the team ship them out over here. As you can see, these are our packing tables and stuff like that. We got Moose over here working on some stuff right now, and back here is more items that we have ready that's on the site that's ready to ship. And that's pretty much the fulfillment side of the warehouse right there. It's very hectic right now. Like I said, we're getting ready for spring, summer, and we just have a lot of drops back to back. We drop almost like every Friday religiously, but sometimes we might just have a shock drop just for our SMS list. Like, hey, new hoodies just came in just for y'all, or like, hey, new tees just came in, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I like having a warehouse. I sometimes come in here and I just see what items that we're sitting on. We're always stacking on items. Like, we might be sitting on some candles right now. We might be sitting on some hoodies. Last week we were sitting on some shirts and some phone cases, and we was like, all right, bet. Thursday we're gonna drop these phone cases with these shirts, you know? Or like, all right, we'll just hold off on the phone cases and just do the shirts alone. So that's one thing I love about having the warehouse, and just like being able to come in here, having a great place to work. Everything is organized. I can see everything, but one thing I can say, it is very expensive. It's very expensive. And back here, I'll show you guys. This is our sample rack. I keep this in the front. My manufacturer sent me this. This is like a Pantone, because we do like mesh shorts. Like I said, spring, summer is coming. So it's like a Pantone list, but it's on a mesh fabric. So I can see what my mesh shorts will look like on whatever color in Pantone, and I can just choose with my manufacturer really well. So this comes very in clutch when we about to drop shorts and stuff like that, which we're about to do. So that's why it's on the sample rack. So this is pretty much the sample rack right here. I took stuff off, that's why you see a big gap, because there's some things I don't want to show you guys. But we got like some hoodies that's coming soon, some varsities that we're gonna drop soon, some stuff that we already dropped. And as you can see, we have many different variations of samples. We're always sampling stuff. Sometimes the first sample is not good. We just got these in today. So this cart right here is everything that just came in that I need to put on the sample rack, and I just need to review. So we just got these pants in right today for Vame. And it's like these regular track pants, open side, has a zipper side. So you can have the colorful side, or you can just have it plain, or you can zip it like that. And it just opens up and just show a colorful with the logo pattern. So very simple. So these right here, they got confirmed already, and we're gonna drop these soon. So we're gonna put in for the bulk on these. And this is the first time we ordered these samples, and it came out perfectly. These samples right here, the sizing is off and the coloring is off. Like, So everything is off about this sample. So this one is going back into the cart and it needs to get reviewed, and we need to talk to the manufacturer later, and like the production team will talk to people like that. So that'll be a great time for me to take you guys to the production side. Come on, just follow me. And production side is very loud, so if this video gets very loud, I'm sorry guys. We're actually working. I want to show you guys the warehouse while we're actually working. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to show you guys is our heat press station setup. So this is where we do anything heat press needed. And we do some DTF transfers, some sublimation, some rhinestone stuff. It's like a simple setup in the corner right here. It's very clean. We even can press hats and stuff over here. And it's just like a small part of the warehouse. It's nothing crazy. On the backhand side right here, we got the team screen print, some shirts. My guy right here. It's Andreas and I'm Andre.
You Andrew?
I'm Andrew.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Ah man.
It's my guy right here. Hard worker right here.
So, hola, how are you?
So boom, as we go through the warehouse some more, like I said guys, it's really big. These are all shirts that are prepped right now, ready to go get screen printed. So those are all shirts right there that are prepped, ready to get screen printed, go down the machine right there. After everything gets screen printed, they go to the fulfillment side. And the fulfillment side will either ship it out or we'll just hold it until it's ready to drop. And like I said, we're getting ready for spring, summer. So right now it's April. So this stuff probably won't get ready until about like May, ready to drop online and stuff like that. And as we go through, it's just mounting the boxes. Right here is our box graveyard. If I could just pan over, is our box graveyard. So this is all our boxes and stuff like that we need to get broken down. These are also boxes of stuff that's coming in that we need to unpack and get ready and stuff like that. So it's a never-ending process here in the warehouse, guys. Like, I'm literally getting hit up by the manufacturer right now as we speak doing this video. So it's a never-ending process. So we also make our stuff here. We also get stuff from Pakistan and China because sometimes here can't keep up with the demand. And China can make different things that we can't get made here, like track pants and stuff like that. There's no sewing machines in here. And back here is just leftover for extra storage when we have like overstock and stuff like that. So right now we don't have overstock because we're coming off of our winter months. And our winter months, we already like did our sales and stuff like that. And the team already been shipping those stuff. So right now, these next 2 weeks for us, like we're really just in production phase, getting samples corrected, getting bulk orders made, getting bulk orders in, putting the bulk orders on shelves, getting them ready, planning out when we're going to drop them, getting them sent out to influencers. So that's what we're doing for the next 2 weeks as we prepare for summer. So summer for us will officially kick off in May. So May, we're coming with the mesh shorts. We're coming with the t-shirts. This year we're launching crop top shirts. We want to cater more to our women and stuff like that. We got joggers, we got track pants that we putting in there and stuff like that. So these next April is our last month of like just doing like heavy hoodies. We will still drop hoodies in the middle of summer. Like I'll drop hoodies in August and stuff like that because it's always people wearing hoodies. Like people wear hoodies at night. People wear hoodies when the sun's out. Like it doesn't matter. But like we're gonna scale back from like doing like 500 hoodies and scale it back down to like 100 hoodies while we're in the summer, and then scale up on just doing mesh shorts and things like that. But even in the meantime, like I'll still get hoodies made because like around like July, now we're preparing for Black Friday and winter months and stuff like that. So that's when we start storing some more hoodies and stuff like that around July time. But that's like a really brief, quick into the warehouse. We're gonna go back to the fulfillment side, and I'm gonna tell you guys more things like how did I started to get my warehouse, when did I decide to get my warehouse, how much it costs to run the warehouse, and things like that, and how to even go about getting your own warehouse. But let's go. Alright guys, so I just gave you the warehouse tour, just showed you a few things in the warehouse. I get a lot of questions about the warehouse. Like one of the main questions I get, like, "Hey Dre, when do you think I should get a warehouse?" And I say for a lot of people, like, you should hold out on getting a warehouse as much as possible because it's an overhead in your business that you are locked into. Like, for instance, it's not like a rent, like what a typical like apartment, like you could just break lease right away. If I want to break lease from my warehouse, it's $15,000. You're locked in on it, and it's not just a 12 months lease. You're locked in typically anywhere between a 3 to 5 year lease, like 3 years being like the average, but most of them be like 5 year leases. I have a homie that has a space right now and he's locked in on it and they won't let him leave, and he still have a year left, so he has to stay in there. So you definitely want to get a warehouse when you feel like you can make the commitment, where you see your brand is growing or your business is growing to the point where, yo, I need a warehouse and I can keep on making this money to this commitment that I have coming in. Like for us, like we were doing 100K months. Like we were doing 100K to 200K months, and like I was shipping and packing out of my warehouse at the time, out of my apartment at the time, excuse me. And I was like, yo, I need a warehouse. And when I got the warehouse, I was like, I don't want to get a warehouse and having to get another warehouse quickly as possible. So I got a space that was way more than enough space than I needed. So when I first got the warehouse, part one was 4,000 square feet. So I was like, yo, let me get part one. My apartment at the time was 2,000 square feet, and I was doing very well out of my apartment. So I was like, yo, if I get double my apartment size, I can grow into it. So when we had the 4,000 square feet, it was really good. I had a lot of space to the part where like I rented out space in my warehouse to some homies, and like we just shared it, and it helped me like cut the cost at the time, and that was really great. Until like I was like, yo, I need this space, and I had to push my homies out, and I got that space back from them, and we kept on growing to the part where we had to get part two. And part two is very interesting because I went from 4,000 square feet, and then we added another 11,000 square feet with part two because it was just right next to the warehouse, and we just broke down the wall and was able to walk through there. But I feel like I did part two too quickly. I feel like I was growing too quickly, and I still haven't filled up part two yet, and I've had part two for 3 years. So I feel like it was a thing where like I was a year in on part one, and I went ahead and got part two because things was going so great on year one. And in year two, things were going great as well, but they wasn't going as great to where like I could cover all those upfront costs and expenses. And somebody might say, Dre, what are your upfront costs and expenses like? So for instance, our electricity bill is $2,000 a month, together combined for both parts. Then during the winter months, we have to pay a gas bill because the heaters are gas heaters. So during the winter months, we like for 6 months we pay a gas bill, and then 6 months is off. So they do it like that. So during the winter months, the gas bill be around like $400 to $800. So let's say the average is like $600 a month on the gas bill, and then on top of that, my rent at the space is $5,200 a month. So $5,200 a month, $2,000 on electricity, $600 on gas, and then I'm somewhere around, let's say, $150 a month on my Wi-Fi bill. I have Xfinity Business. I'm sorry. So it gets up there. And then I add payroll in there. I did all the math. With payroll added, I'm somewhere, like for the team and the staff and stuff like that, I'm somewhere around like $12,000 a month on overhead costs alone. So every month, even before we drop, we're $12,000 in the hole. So if we do a drop, and that's minus like whatever it costs to make the items for the drop, like whatever my bulk cost and shipping is. So if we do a drop and it only does like, let's say $12,000, let's say for the whole month we only brought in $12,000, then we are doing bad. It's like very negative. So like that's one thing I could say. I went from my apartment to year one to where I only had like, let's say, because part one wasn't that much. Let's say I went from $400 overhead, because my apartment I was just paying the rent myself. So $400 overhead to $3,000 a month overhead to $12,000 a month overhead within a short span of like 2.5 to 3 years. So that it took me aback. So I was wondering like, yo, like where's the money going? Like what's going on? I had too big of a team. I had 10 employees. I had to shrink it down to 4. Like it really took me aback because I was growing too quickly for the brand, and then like just getting the money and like flexing and just want to go party and buying whips and jewelry and stuff like that. It really took me aback. like the brand didn't go down, but it was just like my focus went down, and just having like the stress of like, oh, every month I have to make sure I at least bring in $36,000, because like 12 times 3, $36,000 is a lot of money to always make sure you bring it in. And sometimes every drop don't hit. Sometimes one drop only do 36,000. So now it's like, yo, I have some money, but it's not enough because I still have to ship the drop and stuff like that. So when it comes to looking for a warehouse, just be cost effective and think about the long run. Don't think about now. Don't think about, oh, I'm doing great now, I'm be doing great later, or like, oh, I know I'm be doing great later. Just think about like, yo, what can I afford for a long period of time without it being too stressful for me? Because once it becomes too stressful, that's when you want to stop. That's when you want to give up. That's when you don't have no motivation. That's when you be in debt. So glory to be God, I'm not in a lot of debt right now. Like, I'll be completely honest, I'm probably like $6,000 in debt right now, and if I wanted to pay it off with my savings and stuff like that, I could pay it off right away. But there's no rush because like I'm just paying down the debt and stuff like that. But I had to go in debt a few times just to make sure I could pay payroll. You can ask any one of my employees. One thing they can't say is I missed the payroll. They can't say like, oh, Dre owed me. He told me he was going to pay me and I never paid me. From my independent contractors to my designers to my employees to my manufacturers, I always pay. None of them can say I owe them any money. Only people that can say I owe them some money is Amex. That's it. That's just a credit card bill. I'm going to pay it. It gets paid. They know they good. I just call them like, oh, yeah, I paid that. It's whatever. So that's one thing I can say about a warehouse. Another thing a lot of people ask, like, yo, do you think a warehouse is beneficial to your growth? Yeah, I think it was needed, because I definitely needed a space to where I could separate from like, oh, I was at home and where I work at. Because like, bro, when I was shipping out the apartment, I had a loft style apartment. So like, I literally wake up, go in my living room and kitchen and see all my orders. Like literally that was it. Somebody would come over, they'll go in my living room and kitchen and see all my orders. They'll see all the stuff. So granted, I had an apartment that had like a separate room. It wasn't like a second bedroom, but it was like a dorm area. So I had a living room and then I had like a den area. So I had a lot of stuff in the den area and stuff like that too. So I could just block it off. But warehouse just gave me that drive to get up and just like, it's nothing like having an extra bill or responsibility that makes you just get up and have to go to work, you know what I'm saying? But we are not doing this to feel like we have to go to work or we have to do something. We're doing this for freedom. And so being chained down to a $12,000 a month overhead without like something coming in consistently to cover that all the time is not the freedom that I wanted. Granted, I'm a hustler. I don't know if everybody's like that, and I put a lot of stress on myself a lot of times because I take care of my family, I take care of myself, and a lot of things like that. Granted, I'm used to it, but it's not healthy, it's not sustainable, it's not something I would tell somebody to do for the next 5 years. I'll find an easier way to do it. So if you want to go get a warehouse, go get one with your homie so y'all can split the cost, you know what I'm saying? But somebody that you could trust, that you know that can do it for a long period of time, and they sign the name on that paper too, because you have it to where like a lot of homies will come in with it with you, and as things start to get rocky and your name is on the lease and their name is not, and they can just leave and they can just bounce. I'm like, yo, you my mans, I'm gonna bounce, because it's all fun and games till money get funny, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing you also have to look at in that too. So make sure the paperwork is correct. I don't trust people, I trust paperwork, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing right there. So is it needed? Yes, but if your brand is growing. So to answer this long-winded question, if you're not doing like a lot of orders, not even like let's say 100Ks or 200Ks or whatever case is, if you're not doing a lot of orders to where you need a warehouse, don't do it. If you're not have multiple brands to where you could cover costs and stuff like that, don't do it, because you can go fulfillment center route. You can go the route of a fulfillment center like a ShipBob or ShipBob is one of the most popular ones. I can't think of the other names right now, but they're great fulfillment centers. So where like you can just have your stuff at those fulfillment centers. A lot of us, they like to be hands-on and have our stuff in front of us. I get it, but you got to put the pride to the side. Like what do you want to work on in your business? Do you want to ship orders all day? Is that what you find enjoyable? Because at the time, I found that very enjoyable, and I still do. Sometimes I'll come in on the weekends because the team don't work on the weekends, and I'll just ship orders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's their job, but I'll do it because I just passing time, you know what I'm saying? It keeps me out of trouble. I'm not in the streets. I'm not doing something I'm not supposed to do. I'm being productive. I'm just getting my orders out. That's what I do. You feel me? So I look at things like that. And another thing that I look at is just like, yo, like just another thing I look at is just like, yo, like just having a time and places to work and lock in, and just have the team come in and we could be creative and stuff like that. But definitely look at the prices, make sure prices make sense. Another thing a lot of people might ask me, like, yo, Dre, how do you go about finding a warehouse? Me personally, I lucked up and I found a broker. I'll put my broker information in the bio. If you do use my broker, just tell them Dre sent you. But don't hit up my broker if you're not serious. And my broker is only for Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're somewhere else, I can't help you with the broker. But I can show you how you can find a space to get a warehouse. So like for instance, we're gonna go to the site that I use to find my warehouse, right? Okay, so when I was looking for my warehouse, I came to this site called loopnet.com, and I was just looking at for things for lease. Um, and I was really looking for an industrial warehouse. So, but you could do a flex space. Now that I'm smart, I should have did a flex space, because the problem with an industrial warehouse, they just give you concrete, a door, a wall. That's it. If you want to build in there, perfect. But if you're not building in there, like, you know what I'm saying, like, cool. And what I really needed was a warehouse space and an office space at the same time. But I was such in a rush. I was like, yo, just give me whatever I can get. And I ended up having to pay to build out office spaces in my warehouse, which was cool, but like it just costed money. And I was doing this in the middle of a pandemic, so wood prices were higher than normal, so I was paying extra than I would just to build certain things out. And some of the things that we built out, we end up not even using because it wasn't what we really needed. So I probably would look at an industrial and a flex space, because some flex spaces already come with offices built out with a warehouse in the back or whatever the case is. So I always do an industrial and a flex. So let's say I'm looking in Atlanta, Georgia, which is very expensive right now, far as like commercial real estate goes. So we have a few spaces on here. So I'm doing industrial and flex for lease, Atlanta, Georgia, and the available space, let's say 0, and let's say you want to do up to like 5,000 square feet. I feel like that's a great range. Boom. Okay, it narrowed it down to a few. Um, it narrowed it down to a few, and I just go through and looked at the spaces. So how I found my broker is the space that he actually found this space for me. So brokers will have like off market spaces that's not even available, and they could just be like, hey, like I got this space, da da da. But I found him on here. Like I found him on here. He was representing a whole nother space. I called him. I told him what I needed and stuff like that, and then he basically like found me the space that I'm in right now. Like, so for instance, like I like this space right here. It says it's in East Point. I like this space. It's pretty big. It's super industrial. Whoever is in there right now is doing a lot of industrial stuff. So it's 5,000 square feet to 30,000 square feet. So that must means they have different parts they can rent out to you, like different doors. Former Kroger building. So they really want to divide up the spaces, and look, like I said, guys, they have available 1 to 3 year lease. So 3 being the average. So the fact that you have a 1 year lease is pretty cool, but just know like the shorter your leases, the more they might charge you. So I'll probably just bet on yourself and probably just do a 2 year lease if I was doing this space. So like right here, this is where it had my broker's information, and I contacted him about a space. I saw that space. I actually did not like that space at all. And then he showed me this space that I'm in now. So like, even if you just don't like the space that you see, just locking in with a great broker is amazing. It's an amazing thing to do. But I really don't like this space that I just pulled up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and look at another space. And one thing I want to show you guys right here, this is in Hateville. So this is by the airport. This is not a bad area. So it says it's 4,000 to 8,000 square feet. So how you find the rent for this is it's 9,000. So it's $9 a square feet divided by the year. So like for this one right here, so let's say it's 4,000 square feet, right? So it'll be 4,000 times $9. So that's 36,000. So I will divide that by 12. And so this space, if I got the 4,000 square feet space, that would be $3,000 a month right there, which is pretty decent for 4,000 square feet. It's not terrible. The area is not like a crazy popping area. It's by the airport. Um, I'm looking at it right here on the site map. So it looks like on this other side right here, they have 1,400 square feet office, and then they got like 4,000 square feet approximate warehouse space. I think it's divided. I feel like you could get the whole thing, or you could just get this half right here, because that's where the dock high door is, and that's why it takes best to go look at it. Like I'll always say, look at it. Do not sign nothing without looking at it first and seeing everything. Some of the best things you want to look out for, you want to make sure you have a dock high door. So when you have deliveries, you want to make sure you have security gates. So at late night, you can close up and not make sure nobody's running up on you. You want to make sure the space comes with AC, because to add AC is very expensive. You want to make sure the space comes with heat. Most of them do come with heat, and see how much it costs to turn on the gas. You got to see what the property manager will take care of, or what they won't take care of. Because with commercial spaces, it's not like a traditional residential space, so where, like, say if like something break, they'll come and fix it. They only fix certain things. Like for mines, they will only fix the roof. So if anything else break in here, it's on me. And those fixes are expensive. Like for instance, like every time I gotta turn the gas on every year for heat to come in the winter, I have to pay around like $300 for the gas company to come out just to light my furnaces to turn the heaters on. So that's something like if you had a residential apartment, your apartment complex will take care of. But in a commercial space, I gotta take care of $300 every year for them to come out. And I've been here for 4 years, so that's $1,200 since I've been here. You know what I'm saying? So space available. It looks like it's right next to the freeway. I think I've seen this space before by driving by it. And then let me see. The open plan with custom build out, so you can do your own build out in there. I could look at the brochure, but I'm not. It was built in 1965. Commercial space. It's showing you. He has a 10-minute drive from the airport. It's just showing you everything that's close by. It's pretty cool. It's not a bad area to be in. Close to MARTA trains and stuff like that if you have employees that take the train. So it's not a bad area to be in. It's pretty straightforward. It's like you go to work, you leave, that's it. And I can call this guy right here if I want to go see it. You know what I'm saying? Or I could call my broker and my broker can set it up for me. So that's also a good thing about having a broker is like they know other brokers. So they can like go ahead. If you see a space that you like, they can go ahead like, hey, I'll call that broker, see what's going on. And they can negotiate on your behalf. Like let's say if I can't afford $3,000 a month, because that's my maximum, but I can afford $2,800. Like maybe he can negotiate something in my deal to where I only have to pay $2,800 for the first year, and then when I can pay $3,000, it'll go up to that $3,000 mark. So that's why it's great to go about having a broker, and sometimes you don't have to pay the broker directly. For me, my broker got paid from leasing this property, so it was in the lease. So like when I leased the property, the landlords paid my broker. I didn't have to pay my broker. I just I gave him a gift card. I told him thank you, and that was it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was really great for me. So that's how I even went about finding this warehouse space. And y'all can get on here yourself. It's free, loopnet.com. Yeah, like I'm saying, y'all can get on there yourselves. It's free, loopnet.com. That's how you go about finding a warehouse. And there's other places like where you can like do like I've seen people do storage units and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool and they're very inexpensive. I think the most expensive storage unit I've seen with a nice size was like $600 a month and stuff like that. My only thing about storage units that I don't like, some storage units depend on the storage unit you go to. You can't be in there 24 hours. You know, you might have to leave by like 10 p.m. or something like that. Or like it's too many people around, like it might be sketch, you know what I'm saying? It gets hot in there and things like that. You don't have a lot of control, like you can't have everybody over there, like so that's why I went warehouse over storage unit. I never even thought to go storage unit. I just started seeing people go storage unit. I'm like, oh, that's actually genius and very cost effective, you know? I just went warehouse because I wanted more control. I wanted more build out. I wanted more space to grow because I already knew I was going to grow my brand. I already knew my brand was going to be bigger. Like once we passed a certain point and we're making money, I'm like, yo, we're gonna be big. It's just that the mistake that I made is I was growing too fast. I was raising my expenses too fast. So to the point when we had low months comparable to our high months, I had to tighten the budget a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like overspending got to me. The expenses got to me. I had to fire employees. I had to tighten the budget. And those are not pleasant things to do. So you definitely want to stay well within your range even while you're growing. Just so you can do this for a very long time. But if y'all have any other questions, y'all already know what to do, man. Leave them down in the comment section and I will answer them right away, probably with a video or just in the comments. If you like this video, you like the information in this video, just do me a favor and like this video, please. I'm out.